Yo, what up, though? Welcome to the Rad Dad Stay at Home Dads podcast. I am one of the hosts. My name is Jay. Got my big dog host over here. Chris, was good with you?
Not much, man. Just got back from the lake. Great weekend with the family. It started off a little rough. We woke up. We got up there Friday night at 9 p.m. and kids were up to about 10:30. Jack and I were up at 1, and Lil was up at 5 a.m. with a double ear infection. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow. We
and
started like that, huh?
I don't know if you've ever been to Ely, Minnesota, but the urgent care is slim pickings. So our options were drive an hour and a half to Virginia or take her to the ER, which is going to be a nice little bill that she's screaming in pain. So took her to the ER, got her on some drops, she powered through, and we had ourselves a good little Father's Day weekend.
That part. Well, we got it fixed up and patched up and ready to play the rest of the week, huh?
Absolutely. How was your Father's Day?
Man, it was slow motion. I can't complain about it. I enjoyed relaxing. We went over to Jake's house, Jake and Kelly's house. So we were able to sit back with them. Their father came over, had Father's Day with those guys. Jake and Kelly's and Katie's brother Noah showed up as well. So it was pretty dope to
Nice.
have all the family come together. But I love that I didn't have to cook this weekend, which was awesome, right? So no cooking for me. We was able to eat some street tacos. I did make this, how do I want to say, uh, street corn with the alamote on top of it. Oh, brother, let me
What
tell you,
street?
you don't know what street corn is?
Yeah.
You do or don't?
Do I want to know or do I know what it is?
Both.
I do want to know, and I don't know what it is.
Sweet corn is just this. I don't know how to like really. It was fried corn, so I had to fry the corn. I had to put it inside of the cast iron, uh, onions and different type of seasoning. And might I add, it was just flavorful. And then it was a hit at the party. So well, not the party, but the family dinner. It was a hit. Everybody loved it. So I was
Is it on the cob or is it?
now it's traditionally on the cob, but I had it from a can, so I made it out of a can, put it
Gotcha.
and you know what I'm saying, did my little woo wop with it, and yeah, it was a big hit.
Obviously, I'm the opposite on Father's Day. On Father's Day, I'm always like, "Oh, Jack," because I was like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I'm smoke ribs." She's like, "You're not supposed to work on Father's Day." Like, no, I'm gonna smoke ribs. It's what I want, and I smoke the best ribs, like in my mind. So I'm gonna work. I'm gonna smoke ribs. But
Excuse me, you smoke the best ribs? Like,
let's play. Let's go.
is it? Are you trying to put it out there to say that you want to challenge?
Well, I mean, again, I say that, but like my favorite ribs are the ribs that I make for myself. I do the old school charcoal smoker, and it's an effort. 2-2-1 method for me. Two on the foil. Excuse me. Sorry, two bare, two on the foil, then an hour with the sauce, a little brown sugar.
Okay, okay, so you're a champ. I see that because I do the same thing. I've been smoking out of my Weber charcoal, just a little barbecue pit,
Yep.
not nothing too extraordinary. No smoker, no pellets, no nothing. I got a reservoir side. I got my slow burning side with a little bit of maybe what do I want to say, applewood kind of thing on the side. But other than that, I am doing it on that. Nothing else, nothing more. You feel me?
Oh, I hear you, bud. Jack is like, bought the ribs at Costco. So there's 3 racks of ribs, and Jack is like, "What are you doing with 3 racks of ribs? Just us and the kids." It's one for you, one for me, one for you and the kids, one for me tomorrow.
Right. Okay, so you
I'm
on
a
your
I'm a I'm a liberal arts major, but that equals 3. So
that's because what is that? You're on your wow, keto diet. You out here crushing keto.
no, not keto. I do some
Uh,
keto friendly meals I like,
yeah,
but you ever do keto?
I've TikToked them. So
Okay.
TikTok is making me want to become a keto extraordinaire. But then when I find out that what it really entails of me stopping and not eating breads and rices and all this stuff, shit, man, I don't know. I don't think I can
Yeah.
really pull that off. I want to.
There's some cool keto diets out there. I
Mhm.
like keto recipes out there, but There's also some like really cool not keto recipes out there that I'm not I'm not gonna give up. I love to eat, so my gig is I've since I started having kids, I actually health became a thing for me. I've actually dropped a boatload of weight, and as I told you off air, is it's one of my outlets when my kids were little was to work out when they were napping. Like that's how I got to like to relieve stress. You know, it's 4 hours with the kids, nap time. I work out for an hour, I take a shower, and then I'm geared up. Let's play again for another 4 or 5 hours. But anyways, to counter how much I like to eat, I just negotiate with myself that you can eat as much dinner as you want, but you don't get to eat breakfast. And then your lunch is going to be just like a shake and a power bar, or an omelet or something. But comes the dinner time, and I make food go away.
That part.
So
It sounds like you're almost doing an intermittent diet, or excuse me, intermittent
fasting. Yeah, people ask me all the time. I didn't plan it. I didn't really read up on it. It just kind of worked out that way. And it was kind of like, and a lot of it was with the kids, like going to school and stuff. I'd wake up, get their lunches ready, get them fed, get the dishes done, get them out the door, and too late for me to eat before they have to go to school. And then I was like, well, I can eat now, or out, and then shower, and then eat an hour later and call it good. And then come dinner time, I'm still Chris from his 20s who would eat Taco Bell and Wendy's in the same day. So
I know that my pleasure point is Cane's. Raising Cane's. My kids, myself, and Katie love us. We call it crack. I mean, none of us never had crack, but we call that crack. So if I had to understand what crack was like, is Raising Cane's. You feel me? One thing I want to do before
their bread is good.
Their bread is that Texas toast. For sure. One thing I want to do before we go further, guys, everyone that's out there, please make sure that you go follow us here on Facebook. It's called Rad Bad Stay at Home Dads Podcast. It's a group. Tag onto that group, and what's awesome is you get all the updates. You'll get things that's going on in our family, things that's going on in our world, and then that way you can be a part of that even more so than just our normal Facebook page. Also, follow us on YouTube. That's right. We're on YouTube as well. We're streaming live over there right now. That's Rad Bad Stay at Home Dads Podcast. So you can stream over there as well. So go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube and then also like our page. Lastly, guess what? We're streaming on all major platforms. That's right. We're streaming on all major platforms. I'm talking Apple. I'm talking Amazon.
What?
In iHeartRadio. I'm talking Deezer. I'm talking you can name them all. We're streaming on every single one of them. So guys, please make sure that you follow us on YouTube or subscribe on YouTube, like on Facebook, and then also on any streaming platform where you can podcast. We're over there as well. We got some love coming in, liking what you're doing. Thank you. What's so dope about our podcast is that we're very active with our demographics. So whoever's coming in, we love it. We put your comment up on the page. So if you're here live with us, dope. If you're re-listening to this or listening to it on the podcast, just make sure you check in with us on a live show. I think we're going to end up trying to do this every Monday night around 10:30, 11 o'clock. Some fun stuff. Now, the plan is to talk about our family. Plan is to talk about what we do as stay-at-home fathers. The plan is to talk about our life as we know it right now. For me, it's brand new. I've been in it for 2 years. For Chris, he's been doing stay-at-home dad since his children first dropped out the womb. Okay, I shouldn't use drop. That's a terrible analogy. But
the way Lil was born, anyway, she came out, we were happy. That was a scary situation. She came out. They told us that she's going to be in the hospital for 2 months and she might not be breathing. She came out screaming. So if she fell out, jump out, slipped out, dropped out, whatever, she came. We're cool.
I love it. So
I've never seen something so small in my life, man. She was head here, toes here. Sorry, I know it's a podcast. I shouldn't be using visuals, but she's a little bitty, and I couldn't believe that thing could breathe. But anyways, continue on.
No. So make sure that you join us on all of those, man. He's the vet. He's been at it for 8 years. So we're gonna talk tips and tricks. We're gonna talk family. We're gonna talk dynamics. We're gonna talk funny stories, things that have happened to us, and things that our kids are either giving us amazing, riveting stories about, or how they're headaches sometimes. As much as we love them, I will speak this for myself. As much as I love my children, they're dicks and assholes. I'm sorry. They are. They know how to push a button, and then they give me the sweetest faces when they mess up. So then I don't know how to. But we're gonna talk about all that, man.
My kids, with what I've been through with my kids, they better cure cancer. They better do me proud. So, but I did want to ask you real quick. I know we're streaming live and everything, but can you pause it and go give your granola bar, please?
Right. Can I have a granola bar? Oh man!
And I want to say real quick, I want to say thank you to my cousin Joe and his girlfriend Julie. Jason, get this: they did a 2-week trip. They live in our hometown still. They still live in Michigan,
Okay.
and then they did a trip. I don't know exactly what in Chicago. They stopped by Minnesota. I think they did Black Hills, Mount Rushmore, with California, Arizona, all that jazz. And on the way home, they actually were listening to our podcast, and she sent a little message to us. So I thought, small world, and they pretty cool of them. They're listening to Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad's podcast. Their child is a 4-legged friend,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it was really good to hear from them. Thank you, Joe and Julie.
That would be the epic life, to be a stay-at-home dad to a 4-legged, family member. Because to some, they are like, hey, these are just important as children are, and I believe it. I'm not gonna hate on it. We have a dog. We acquired a dog. I will say this: Katie acquired a dog. I help with it just because I have to, not because I choose to. But I can see how the love is there. The girls love the dog 100%. And this just goes to say how my life is going. I have 3 girls, as you can see right here. The dog is even a girl. I can't win. I can't. I like sometimes I think about I almost want to have one more child just to see if I can get the boy to get some other testosterone in the house with me. But I fear that I will have another girl, and I can't. I'm done with that.
We were. I wanted 3. She wanted 2. I mean, we're happy where it happened. She wanted 3, or I wanted 3. She wanted 2. And so, what's up?
You wanted children?
Oh yeah,
that's a game changer.
Let's keep going. Yeah, no, I was when we first got together. My thing is, I wanted to try. I wanted at least 1, and then we'll go for that was when you have that conversation about where you see in life, what you want, what you don't want, and my thing with when we were getting serious together, I said you got to try for 1, or I want to be a dad at some point in my life. And then when she was pregnant with Lilly, she's like, "Do you want a boy or a girl?" Because I said we'll always have boys. We'll always have boys. And because I knew we most likely would be done after Lilly. I said, well, I kind of want another boy. And she's like, and we found it was a girl. She's like, "Are you okay? It's a girl." I'm like, "Are you crazy?" I'm ecstatic. I can't wait to have a girl. I just hoping it was a boy, so then we can have 1 more who would be the girl. Just because to have the 3rd one, but 2 is plenty, and I'm perfectly good. I got it perfect with the boy and a girl. I get both sides. Got a mama's boy and a daddy's girl. So life's good.
Get out the park, man. That is an awesome way to get it, man. Because right with us, we had the girl right away, and first and foremost, I'll say this: Katie wanted 4 children. That was her goal. She's like, I want 4 kids. When we first started talking, and I was like, I don't want any. I don't want not 1 child. I've made it to the age of 26, 27 without any children. No, I want to say, because I had Hazel. She's 8 now. I'm 36. So right at 20, 27, 28-ish, around that area. It's like, I don't want any more children. I don't want any children at all. She got me not got me, but we had 1. Right? He had the 1.
It's a good thing that thing they have jobs and they don't listen to this.
Right. You might be on actually.
I'm gonna get in trouble with this with my wife. I tried listening to it, I just couldn't. I'm like, huh, well, go off the rails then.
We go everywhere.
Right.
I had the one, and then after that, I was like, okay, I could chill. And then we had two more, man. And at that point, I'll go. I'm invested. I love my children, and they make me feel so special. But then at the same time, I was like, man, I can remember the days that I was. This was a no go. This was like a never. I'm never gonna do it, kind of a thing. But I love where I'm at now, though. You know what I mean?
So did you find it hard to be a dad right away? Like, was it hard to adjust, or does it? Hazel was born, and I'm a man now. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh man, that's such a good question. Yes and no. Right. I didn't grow up with the best role model as a father, mainly because my actual father wasn't present. I had a fill-in like a stepfather for most of my adolescence. So from 5 till about 15, there was this gentleman there, but he showed me some ways. I'm not gonna say he was a terrible person uh, as a child, but as an adult, when I find out what he was doing, he's fucking terrible. But that's nonetheless the story. So the reason why I bring that up is because I didn't know how or what to do as a father. So that was the part that scared me, right? So I
oh,
think the part that I paid attention to and focused on is to do what I didn't get. So how I wanted to be loved and treated is what I put out. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah,
I'll kind of go above and beyond. So for me, when Hazel was born, it necessarily wasn't like, oh, it clicked for me because I still lived and did some of the same things as I wanted to. Still want to be out, still want to go out, still want to hang out. I still work the nightlife, those type of things. So it kind of kept me in the life that I wanted. But when I came home, I knew how to say, all right, it's dad time. And I want to be an awesome dad as much as possible, as well as a spouse. Right. So
hmm
I'm making sure that I can do the most. But to answer it long-windedly, yeah, it kind of just clicked for me. It kind of clicked because I knew what I wanted to give her that I didn't get
right.
as an adolescent.
No, there's not one child that has to be born. So, I mean,
Yeah, not exactly. She wasn't asked to be
right,
here, so I can really give her all that I can.
right.
Make sure that she didn't go. But it also helped that I had a good spouse. I have a great spouse. You know what I'm saying? Katie is awesome companion to be with, and she's an amazing mother. So it works when I can see that she's low on energy. It's time to come in as super dad. You feel me?
Yeah.
Um, for me, I found that balance is always amazing. So once I find that she's low on energy, then I'm ready to hop in, tag team, high five, or I come in like Ultimate Warrior. I'm shaking the ropes like I'm coming in.
Ultimately, you come in, you're out in 4 minutes, and you win.
That's it. Exactly.
Just run backstage.
I come in with the heavy hand. I come in with, a big voice. We moving and grooving. If you're not paying attention, then we got, scenarios. We talk. I'm giving them stern talking, or I'm coming in with nothing but fun and enlightenment. Right. Yeah, that's
so,
one thing I
so
really,
you said last week you're kind of like you're the authoritarian, right? So
for the most,
like
right, more than the most part. Yeah.
so like I learned like in ECF, you like so there's the middle, then there's like the authorities on this side, and then it's like so then it would be like I won't say the nurturer because you can still be and you can still be an authority figure and nurture, but like so then like the softer side. So on the spectrum, like authorities here, softs here. I think naturally, let's say I say authority. So I'm here for like the authority, naturally close to the middle. I think my wife is close to the middle naturally too on the other side, but I think sometimes she's too far here, so I go this way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I go too far this way, so she goes that way.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense at all? Like,
It does. It does. It does.
so
Right.
where would Katie be? Is she with you on strict stern, or does she? I don't want to say given more, but is she more lenient, or does
I'll.
she you guys got each other's back 100%?
We
Like,
got each other's back. We got each other's back.
I,
But
I
I'll
mean,
say
like, go ahead.
this shows you how it is. So when the girls are with me throughout the day, they know what's up. They know if they ask too many times, it's gonna be a no. They know that they're not gonna get certain things. So sometimes they just own it. They're like, let's see if you can say yes today, right? But then sometimes they know. So soon as Katie walks in the door, they're locked and loaded with 50 questions. Mom, can I get milk? Mom, can you give me a snack? Mom, can I get a granola bar? Mom, can I do this? Mom, can I do that? Where I'm like, yo, if you call your mother name one more time, we're gonna have mad issues. Let your mother get in this door and get relaxed. I'm not playing games on. Matter of fact, everybody outside, and then everybody got to go outside. I'm meltdown. I'm talking about they not enjoying it. They think I'm sending them. They really feel like I'm sending them like to boarding school just to go outside. You know what I mean?
But there will be a day. It happened a lot later as Sawyer's gotten older, where he doesn't always. I mean, he's always excited to see my wife, but like now he's like, "Hey, mom, we're playing football," and like so he doesn't. Now it used to be drop of the hat, and now he's getting kind of older and more independent. And she's like, all those days I had to come home and he was my hip hugger, and I was like, oh, I just need it. And now he wants to go. Like now you're his buddy, and so it comes and it goes, right? Like
that part. The thing is that they like I said, I'm not calling her soft at it. I'm not saying that,
right.
but I'm saying that she's tender, right? That if they give her enough whining, if they give her enough crying, the anxiety weighs on her. She feels it some type of way, and you know what I'm saying, things change. Where I'm like, I don't care, because at some point in time, I could turn that cry off in my head. In this world, in my cranium, I could turn it all off and be fine with it. As long as I see them not hurt, they can cry all they want.
That's to me, that's the difference. Like I can tell. I know the whine and I know the cry, and you're gonna whine at me about something. You're gonna get some. It's like calling for an Uber on a deserted island. One, you're not gonna get service, and two, if you get the service, it ain't gonna get you what you want. So I can't deal with it. And my wife, she's more patient, and she'll reason more with them. But again, like no, like this has been all day for me. Like, or she'll be like, all they're doing is fighting. I'm like, yes, like for the last 20 minutes that like you're here, they're fighting. They do it. Oh man, there's so I am such a smart ass, and I'm starting to kick me in the ass because now Sawyer is a complete smart ass, and he's freaking hilarious. But so I deserve what I'm getting from him. But now, like they start so when they're fighting now, and it's over the same things, and like Lilly will be crying, and Sawyer will be like on the fence, and I'll just like, good job, guys. We didn't learn. We're screaming. We're hitting. Good job. You guys are doing such a good. I'm so proud of you. Don't learn. Just keep doing the same mistakes. And they're just like, who the hell is this? Like, you're supposed to say stop it, but it's like, don't tell. But he hit me in the privates. Why did you tell me? So
why you tell me?
Right, exactly. So I don't know.
So for me, it's kind of the same way. I try to make it sure and instill that they don't do that, right? I don't, and I don't know, maybe it was the way I was raised, but I also feel like I'm the adult. So what that means is there's no debate. At this current moment, you're an 8-year-old, you're a 4-year-old, and you're a 1-year-old or 2-year-old. Like we got nothing to discuss. What I say goes, plain and simple, right? I could be wrong, and then that could be backfire on me. But you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Other than that, where I stand 10 toes down is a no. You dig?
Yeah, I hear you. My issue is my son is 8, and I already know he's going to have a higher IQ than I am. So like when he asks me things, I'm like, oh, son, how do you bullshit your way out of this one?
Oh.
But no, I'm the same way. Like I say yes. I may have said no yesterday. Today I'll say yes. Tomorrow I'll say no when I would have said yes. And why? Because like there's no reason today. Because water's wet, the sky's blue. I said no. Like I mean, let's move on. Pitter pat. Let's go. Like
So I tell Hazel that I go, you're gonna I go one day you're gonna outsmart me. One day. Or as of right now, I got you beat. There's no way around it because I didn't did it. I didn't heard it, I didn't seen it. And then what I do is I can remember what you've been saying and I listen to you. So there's no way for you to, you're not about to outdo me with this one. You're not gonna finagle it because what she's been doing lately is sending her sister up, right? Or her sister will come up. So the 4-year-old Quinn will come up and be like, so she this is my all-time favorite. Quinn will come to me or Katie and ask for a piece of Hazel's candy. So it's a win-win for Hazel. At the end of the day, she's like, well, one, I never asked. And number two, yeah, I got candy, but it seemed like you're going to give her the okay more than you give me the okay. You're trying to play the game, but I'm like, nah, you ain't that slick, my friend. But I love how they are together. So that's one thing that I try to instill in them.
Oh yeah.
Is that you are all that you guys have. When it's said and done and mom and I are gone, you three are solid rock. No one can break you or penetrate the bond that you two have. And you need to cherish and hold and keep that same strength together. So I instill that in them now.
Right. My brothers, aunts too, but my brothers are legends in their mind because of the stories that I've told. And they see like growing up and all these things, and they see us interact. And then we are extremely close with Jackie's brother and his wife, and they have 3 kids, 11, 9, and 7.
Okay.
And the 9-year-old and Sawyer are really close, but he's also really close with Alex. She's 11. And they've had a kinship since she was what, 4 and he was a baby. And then Evelyn and Lilly, they're a year apart, so they're really close. And we my in-laws live in Florida, and so we spend Christmases for a week down there. We'll be there for a week over the 4th, and we're all together as a family. Up in Ely, we had plenty of weekends. I think it's like every Memorial Day we're all up there together. And so they've grown up together and they're really close, and they see how close Jackie and Vic are and how close I am with Vic and with Katie. And then so I tell them, no, you understand that Uncle Vic and mom and brother and sister like you guys are. And it's basically, you guys are basically the same age because they're 2 years apart as well. So you guys are the same, and he's older than she is. So you guys are the same. So when you guys get older, you want to have your kids to be together with aunts and uncles and cousins. You guys need to figure it out because you guys are really lucky to have what you have. So take advantage of it. And we also told get cutthroat with them when COVID started. I flat out said, y'all ain't playing with anybody for a couple weeks. That's your friend. That's your friend. Like, I'm going to play with you guys a little bit, but I also got to make sure that you guys are getting fed. I got to keep the house clean. I'm a teacher now. Like, so it's like, you guys need to get along, because if you fight, all I'm going to do is take away your stuff, and you have to figure out to get along now without your iPads and without your toys and stuff.
Bro, I'm glad that you just said that. Reason being is because at one point, I was feeling a little bad about saying this to my daughter. I go,
which one?
All of them, actually. I mean, obviously, Margo can't really understand.
I was going to say, it's a pretty smart kid you got there. Pretty smart 1-year-old.
Right. Quinn and Hazel, but I talk to her like she is one of them. Like, I'm not Google guying her. I am really talking to her.
Right. It's amazing how you go from the side of the oldest, like when you were just like, oh, be careful moving the young one. Like, hey, you just spit up, you're fine, it'll dry. Go ahead.
Third child syndrome all day.
Right.
But what I do is God, what we were talking about. I lost train of thought.
How you're talking to. I meant, what's up?
I lost train of thought.
That happens.
That happens.
I was saying how I talking about COVID and how I told them that they're the friends taking stuff away, and you said, oh, you talked to all 3 of your kids kind of the same about something.
Yes, I'm trying to remember what it was. I just had it. COVID taken away. What do I do?
Eat a granola bar. It'll help.
Eat another granola bar. But no, I just, you know what? I'll go with this one. I just make sure that I talk to them as if they understand it. Like, look, you all are, once again, we're not playing no games here. I just remember, not gonna remember how I want to say it. COVID happened. What are we doing? It's on the tip of my brain. I get it. This is wasting air. Um, Luckily, on the podcast, I can go ahead and
Do you want me? Do you want me to give you some intermission music?
right.
I can go. I can go get some more grape juice while you're.
There you go. Oh my
Well,
god.
let me ask you this. Does anybody ever? Do you ever joke around? Does anyone tease you or whatever about being a stay-at-home dad? About I know you said you do bring in some income, but does anybody ever joke around about it, like being a man, it's not bringing the money home or anything like that?
So as of late, no one has, at least to my face. Now,
I'm talking like all in good fun, like teasing, joking.
no, actually, I haven't had not one yet. Every time I've brought it up or said it, a lot of people is commended it. Like, man, that's a hard thing to do.
Right.
Congrats! Like I see you for what you are, and continue to do that. But as of late, before I didn't lead with that. So I didn't lead with I'm a stay-at-home dad. I would lead
Oh,
with I'm an entrepreneur, right? I have all of this stuff that I'm doing, but I also stay at home with the children.
but I suppose
And
with COVID, were you taking them out in like grocery stores in the park with other kids and stuff?
yo,
Okay. Yeah. So that's I guess that's where I got it a lot would be like at the grocery store or, running errands or at the park. And I mean, this was years ago. I mean, I remember one time, I think Lil was 1 and Sawyer was 3, and they're in like the cart where you sit in like the car. So like you
yeah,
get less cart room. So great idea, whoever thought of that. Less room to put all your groceries with 2 screaming kids. But
right.
so and I moved furniture for 10 years, so I'm pretty good at like packing. So I got like this strategy of how to pack the groceries and all that jazz in the cart. So I'm checking them out and everything like that, checking out the groceries and dealing with the kids. And I'm all over the place trying to keep them calm and while checking out. And then the checkout lady flat out says to me, she goes, "Now you know what it's like for us mothers."
Oh wow.
I go, I go, I go. Well, I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And she goes, "Damn, I was gonna say you got this down." I was like, so I don't know if it was a compliment, but I was just like, so I always get it. And
You
then
know what? I think what they think is
it's
mothers
my day off.
always do it, right?
Right.
Mothers, it's a motherly job that they always have to do it. They always have to juggle 3 or 4 things and maintain it.
Oh, Jack's
Whereas
better than me. Absolutely.
that was one thing I was saying. I commend women because I sat back one time and I thought about it. I go, I find this kind of hard because I in my prime of things, like even during a day, or a time span or period, I'm still only singular. Like I can only really handle what's in front of me and then move to the next and then move to the next and then move to the next. Whereas I remember hearing a story about a woman that she wasn't a single mom. She was a married woman, 3 children, stay-at-home mother, and then she ran like 2 or 3 businesses and still ran the house as well. I said, where? How? What talents? Like who authorized you to be, you know, what is that called? Thor, the woman's version, right?
Can we
That
can we can we cut? You're making me look bad. I do fantasy sports at night.
how okay, then how she become the Michael Jordan or
Right.
the Alex Rodriguez
I
of parenting in life?
I
Because I was
said
like, I
this.
don't know how that's possible.
I said this to you on our dummy broadcast that we did 2 weeks ago, and is that men are um, way stronger. Women are infinitely that much more tougher. Like I don't anyone who doesn't think so has never witnessed childbirth, or two, never seen a mom. Like I don't get where her or not just my wife. I mean, I've seen you know my sister, my sister-in-law, my mom. I grew up. My mom was. I mean, I have 5 siblings. My mom was a stay-at-home mom.
That part.
And
Yeah.
I had two, and I was like, Sawyer went to kindergarten, and I was like, I think we should send Lilly to preschool abroad. Like, I mean, I think it'd be good for her growth. So, but like, no, they got the it's like the sixth, seventh, and eighth sense. Like, I mean, sometimes she'd hear things in the middle of the night, and I'm like, what? And then like the next day, she's like, yeah, he was up for 2 hours coughing. And I was like, huh. Like,
That part. I don't get it, man. I commend it, salute it, hat off to the whole nine for what they are able to do. For sure, for sure.
100%.
Right?
So, well,
Hey.
going off that, so something happened to me, like almost 2 weeks ago, and it irked me. I was pissed for a little bit, and I know why now. And no one makes fun of me being a stay-at-home dad more than I do. I make plenty of jokes. My wife, we gag with each other all the time. Like it, we're comfortable with it, and a lot of it, which made it easy for us, was my last year in college. I had to quit working because I took an internship, going for sports, and between school and my internship, I didn't have time to work, and so it was like, now we're a single income family, and then that was kind of like a test for us, and it obviously, we became comfortable with it, and we understood that we're a team, so it doesn't matter where this weight's coming for or where this weight's coming from, as long as everything's getting pulled, like we're together, right?
Right.
And my brothers always give me shit. I have friends always give me shit. Like, guys play fantasy baseball with, like, this isn't fair. You're at home on your phone all day, and that's why you're winning, like shit like that. Anyways, went to a baseball game, or a softball game, and someone said something. We're just talking. I was like, yeah, I live out in Victoria. He's like, well, you work out in Victoria? I go, yeah, I work out in Victoria. He goes, what? I'm a stay-at-home dad. He goes, oh, you lucky son of a bitch. I go, yeah, I'm pretty lucky. And I don't know this guy from Adam. He goes, you got yourself a sugar mama. I laugh. I go, no, my wife. She's like, no, she's a sugar mama. I go, what? And he's like, man, all you gotta do is sit at home all day and just sit and watch kids. That's awesome. You got the life and blah blah. And I was like, it really irked. And but like, I didn't know him, and I didn't get pissed. But I was like, why is it pissed? I don't care what this guy says. And then I was like, why it pissed me off was because I am very involved with my kids, and I work my ass off. Like when so I'm at home with them. We're having fun. Like I'm gonna wear these kids out. Like I said last week, tan and tired. Every day is an adventure. We're going to do something, and I'm not on my phone while they're in the pool. I'm in the pool throwing them in the pool. You know what I mean? Like I don't take them to the baseball park. I'm throwing pitches with them. I'm reading it to them. I changed the diapers, bottles. I was up in the middle of it. Like I gave it all. So like it's like for some reason it just, and maybe it was the day I was having, but I was like, I was pissed that he like, I'm comfortable with my relationship with my wife, and we're comfortable. So like that doesn't bother me one bit.
Wasn't that part? Yeah.
And it turns out he had a little kid, and he was something about not wanting to go home, and he was only to stay there and have a few more drinks. And it's like, oof, like I don't know. So that's why I asked you, like, do you ever get comments or jokes, and what do you think about? I mean, jokes are jokes. I'll take them, but like he is serious, and I was like, dude, you just insulted the last 8 years of my life.
Yeah. I've gotten that. Now I'll be honest with you. I've gotten that comment a few times, and I've heard it. I kind of brushed them off a bit because they didn't understand the dynamic of it, right? But I also had to, edify them. I had to let them know, like, all right, while you're looking at it at that point, like I'm dealing with 3 children, like that. Like, no, like I don't. I no.
You got a lot tougher than I do right now with where you're at with your ages.
Oh, I go, they're 8, 4, and 1. I go, these are 3 different personalities, 3 different wants and needs, and 3 different, emotions. And on top of that, they're all girls. I think at this early stage in life that don't matter because children are children, but it does because I see so much when I look at my nephews and our other friends that have 3 boys that are exactly the same ages. Like it's real crazy how that family, has the same outcome as us. But when I look at their dynamic and I look how the boys are playing with each other, what the boys are doing, it's completely different. It's a lot of roughhousing. So it's stopping them from roughhousing, stopping them from really being too tough on each other. And then obviously kind of helping the emotional side of things too, learning how to share, play,
Right.
and do all that
Right.
thing. But when it comes to my girls, their emotions are so different, and the wants and needs are so much more. Bugs are a problem. Weather is boredom is a problem. Like they have to be entertained. Like I have to like entertain my children after just entertaining them, right? So that's what it was right there. I'm not I don't know if I'm wrong for this at all, but I'm not your entertainer. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm your parent. I make sure that you're alive. I make sure that you go from point A to point B. You learn, and yes, at times I will be in here to play with you and facilitate excitement. But I'm not your source of entertainment. Like that's why you have other siblings. You have two other siblings on both ends. No matter if you're the youngest to the oldest, like you got two other siblings to play with. Go figure that out.
See, I got my kids are totally different when it comes to that. Like I could tell them like Sawyer and Lil, all right, this is the plan today. Like, yeah, I'll get you guys some breakfast. Then I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna work out, and then while you guys do your chores and all that stuff, and then there's no screen time at this point, and then we're gonna go for a walk and we're gonna do this, and then whatever you guys want to do, I'll do with you, and then I got to do this, and like whatever this is, cook dinner or get some laundry or something, and I tell that to Lil. Lil's like, okay, cool. And she'll color, she'll play with something. If something comes up where she needs help, she'll come, Dad, absolutely, of course, I can help you open that. You tell it to Sawyer, he's like, yeah, cool. Like, all right, do you need anything right now before I start my workout? No, I'm good. Okay, cool. 5 minutes later, Dad, when can we play?
Yeah. Oh.
I'm like, you go do something. And they'll sit right there and right there watching me work out like this. And they're talking like, and like as soon as I'm done in the shower, then they start grabbing their iPads. And I start talking like, oh, hold on, Dad. I'm like, I should move the screen and show you right here. There's like all my storage stuff is here because they really, really wanted a fort. I kept building them forts. They're fighting because the cat was knocking it down, or it would get torn down somehow by the cat, or one of them would bump it, or one of them didn't like it, or whatever. So I cleaned out a storage closet down here, and I'm like, all right, that's your guys' fort. Blankets, everything decorated. They've been in there for maybe 5 minutes. Yeah.
I want to Floyd Mayweather most of my children because of that.
Outsmart them and just collect money from them.
Exactly right. I can't understand. They like they gang up on me to do something, and then when we finally do it, they only spend half of the time they spent trying to get me to do it.
Right. And for me, it's like, and I've said this a few times, and I realized I can't say that because I need to be bigger or not let it slip. Because a few times I just did this, and this, and this. And I should not, but like I was like, I do so much. Like Sawyer, like I'll take him fishing for 3.5, 4 hours. Which, by the way, is kind of cool that he loves fishing. He'll like poke me. He'll poke me in the morning, like 6:20. Dad, deep time to go fishing. So it's like I tell Jack, I really want to go fishing tomorrow, but Sawyer wants to go, so we gotta go fishing. But
we gotta go.
But he's the kind where like I'll take him fishing for 3 or 4 hours, and then like he'll come home and like we'll get things cleaned up, whatever. He's like, Dad, can we play football? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll play football with you for 25 minutes or so. I'll play football, and then comes in the house and like I'll go do something. He's like, Dad, I'm bored. I'm like, dude, like figure something out. Like, but Lil is so easy where it's like she'll like we call it the swing kick game where they swing in a swing, and I take one of those big balls, those bouncy balls, and I throw it at them, and I try and time it right so they kick it, and then like I mess with them and I'll throw it, I'll hit them in the head, or I'll throw it in the butt and stuff like that. And they think it's funny, and then like I fake like they kick me and stuff. And Jack didn't like it at first. We had new neighbors moving last year, and they're like just looking. And she's like, "You realize that like you're like letting your kids kick you in these kids are looking at you like, what is going on? That's why she calls me her man child. But like, so like Lil, totally. But like, it's like, I have 3 kids. I mean, like, they'll all be swimming the pool, and she's like, okay, kids, I'm not getting my hair wet. I'm just dipping in. And then I just come in. I always do like the Macho Man elbow drop. And, yeah. And
classic.
she's just man child. Like, anyways, but like, so Lil, she's like, Dad, can we play the swing kick game? And I was like, Lily, in 15 minutes, I will play the swing kick game with you. And I'll play with her for 25 minutes, half hour. I said, okay, now I'm going to do that. She's like, okay, cool. And then like, she'll go play in the sandbox where Sawyer's like he's like a puppy dog. Like, I need more. I need more.
Yeah. So I kind of do the exact same thing. We have a basketball court in our backyard. So instead of the pool, we've substituted with like a half court basketball court. So I've been kind of teaching Hazel how to play basketball. Towards this like here in the next week or so, I'm gonna try to start teaching her tennis. She's been really excited to want to do that. But that's the exact same thing. I'll get out there and start playing with them. They're either want to go on the swing or they'll want to go play in the basketball court. And within like an hour of that, like I'm playing with both of them because Quinn is too small to play with the basketball and shoot, where Hazel is big enough and strong enough to do it. So it's 2 different types of play. And I can only do that when I put Margo down to sleep because God knows that I can't get any kind of fun done with the 1-year-old trying to run around my ankles as well. So it's a toss up on how to play with all of them at once. So I am kind of the father, and I when you said, I was like, dang, I kind of feel bad, but I'm like, really, the dynamic is still different because I'm out there with them, but sometimes I don't play with them because it is 2 different type of plays, and it's hard to entertain them both, right?
Well,
because
it's
want so much.
Well, it's hard, and it's gonna come off wrong, and I feel guilty for it. But like, I have so much. Like, Sawyer's doing things that I want to do. Like I can throw a football to him 30 yards, and that's what I like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love spending time with my kids. Whatever. Like when Lily wants to color, I've played dolls with her. I've played like the games that she wants. I absolutely will do that, and I love spending time with her. But if like she didn't ask me to do it, I wouldn't be sad about it. But like, so it's easier for me to like do a lot of those things with Sawyer. So like I always like purposely talk with Lily that, hey, we need to have a dad Lil night. What do you want to do? And she's like me, where she likes to shut off the lights, watch a movie, have a snack. There's no pause. There's no whatever. Jackie and Sawyer are the same, where they're like, we pause it and finish it tomorrow, or they get up and take bathroom breaks. And Lil, like, she's like, yeah, right. Lil's like me, like, let's get lost in the movie and watch it. So anytime she sees a movie or something, she'll ask me if we can watch it, and we'll cuddle on the couch and watch it. And so we have our things. It's just Sawyer is more not needy, but more high maintenance of like wanting the interaction. And honestly, a lot of that is my fault for when he was younger. I didn't seek to get him play dates and stuff, because it was kind of, we moved when he was like the first year. I was just nervous to keep him alive, 10 fingers, 10 toes, breathing, all that jazz. That's all I cared about. And then we moved, and then it was hard for me, like, didn't know any other stay-at-home dads, didn't know one was in the area I knew. And so it was harder for me to get play dates. And then with Lil, like, I was more comfortable with it. I got to know the community. I got to know people at ECFE. And so she was on a lot more play dates, and she had a lot more social interaction than he did. And he just always grew up as like my buddy.
Gotcha.
And so
it's funny that you say it that way. And I really think it's the firstborn type of thing. Because when you have your firstborn, you try to do so much with your child. Because that's what happened with Katie, right? So with Katie, she was out of work for like almost a year, like the first year of Hazel being born. So she was able to kind of like enjoy everything with her. And even as Hazel got older, around 2 or 3, it worked out because of Katie's schedule was so the same. And it allowed her to, actually it wasn't, because she was in nursing school at the time. But either way, she was able to spend more time with her and do more things with her than she was with the other children. And what that ended up doing, and we can see it now, we didn't see it before, it always gave her the what's next vibe. So like even today, we hung out with some friends, and their friends had our friends that mutually we know have 3 children as well. soon as we got in the car from playing with them and having dinner, which was a really good time, Hazel goes, "So what are we gonna do once we get home?" Hey,
Right.
what? Get ready for bed. It's 6:30, yo. But that's the same mindset. So where she has a difficulty playing by herself. She'll rather watch kids on YouTube play with toys than she do it. Whereas
Oh,
Not Hazel, but Quinn and Margo are really learning how to play on their own because that's in the place that they're at. Because when Hazel's in school, Quinn and Margo, or just Quinn, I force her, not force her, but I tell her go play, go with these toys and figure. And then she's just singing and talking and playing with the toys by herself. I think it's just that firstborn that is really like they need someone to show them how to do or be a child.
well, with him, it was one. He was like out of the gate. He was a tougher baby. Like I don't know if I told you. It was last week. I told you 2 weeks ago. But like when Lil was born, I was like, Jackie came home from work. I'm like, did you know that you can set her down on the floor and you can go to the other room and go to the bathroom and come back and she's still happy? Like that was
Right.
like a milestone. That was not Sawyer. Like he was, so he was so tough, and it was also so it was making sure like world of the unknown. You didn't, I'd never been there before, didn't know what to expect, and like I mean, his first cold, I was like, oh my god, but also he had it bad. He was yakking and he had a massive fever, and then we found out the hard way that he's allergic to the psyllin family. So like his
Mhm.
first cold was it went on for 2 months because fever, allergic to medication, diarrhea, all that jazz. But anyways, so for him, there was him being a tough kid, and it was also me like, okay, I'm at home with him now. Like I need to be the best I can. I need to be everything I can to like engage in him and do things with him where he wasn't on his own as much. And then like with Lil came was like Sawyer needs this. I gotta change his diaper. I hope you like your swing. Like I mean, because
Mhm.
you're gonna have to. And then in the morning, like he'd want to hang out with Jack while she was getting ready, and I'm like, all right, well, look at her morning bottle. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna set her down. Like she cries, she cries. Versus like when Sawyer was a baby, you're kind of like, how does it stop?
You know what? That's the crazy part because I'm starting to really notice it with the third baby syndrome. It's just like we didn't been through it twice. We know that practically if you don't really like throw the baby, they're pretty much indestructible. Like they may cry, things may hurt, but they'll be okay.
I threw the baby. I just caught him on the way down.
I do that too. I catch them, right? But like when you're first your
Right.
first child, you like they will stop breathing at night. We don't know why we feel like that. We don't know why we think that. We're just like, is it breathing?
Well, I
We
mean, and a lot of it for me was, you know, I I I can operate 6, 7 hours sleep, but I was not prepared to come home and get 4 hours of sleep, and
yeah.
then even when I was up, there wasn't sanity. Like it was screaming and like all like everything like it was. He was born a month, like 3, 4 weeks early, and so it was like the night he was born. We were actually watching Game of Thrones, and like I had a couple of drinks, and it was like 11:30, and Jackie's like, I'm like in labor. I was like, oh shit, like this
Time
is
to go.
not right. Like, and but we didn't know. Like, actually, she didn't say labor because we went in earlier that week. Um, and was it Braxton Hicks is what they call it? So she had
Yep.
like the so like I wasn't like we weren't expecting her to have a kid, and so like we went to the hospital, and I was like in a scrubby shirt, and I didn't even pack an overnight bag, and I was
Mm.
like, oh my goodness, and then like we went home with him. I was like, well, this is different. Like I'm still one of these, and now I have one of these. Like, but
Yeah, man.
so
So it's impossible sometimes to really keep up with it. But one thing is that I think we are doing a fantastic job, man. Our children are alive, they're thriving. One way that I find that I'm doing an amazing job is how they act when they're in public or
yep.
how they act when they're not with me. They know the deal, they know what's up, and that I can always say, you know what, they listen to me. We go off the handle sometime, but they listen to me.
because they can at home. It's the kids that have a hard time. A lot of kids that have a hard time in school, they can't do it at home, right? Or like
Right.
I've heard that from so many like smarter people than me and other parents is like you're doing something right at home if they're behaving at school and then because then like I don't know if you dealt with this with Hazel in kindergarten, but a little bit with Lilly, but certainly with Sawyer. He came home from kindergarten, he was done. Like he didn't want to take orders from anybody else. He didn't want to share any toys. He's gonna go to the bathroom. He was like he did everything he could to play by the rules at school. And then he came home and he was just like, leave me the F alone. Like right. So
So what was so dope is I like that. I don't. I think I'm gonna have that with Quinn, but Hazel is such a natural nurturer and a natural sharer. Like
okay.
she actually wants to give to people. I remember when she was 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old, and this story stands out so big to me. She had a cookie. She was given a cookie, one cookie, and she decided to share with her friend that was over that day. She split the cookie in half, and it was one obvious side bigger than the other. She looked at it and gave him the bigger piece of cookie on her own. I go, you sure you want to do that? She's like, yeah, it's okay. We're both getting some. So from that moment on, I knew that I have
Awesome.
Mahandi. I got somebody that's I got something that's extremely special because this is a child giving up a sweet, something that they really wanted. Not only are they sharing, they gave up the biggest piece.
Right.
With that being said, I knew that was something that's going to resonate for the rest of her life. So when you asked that question, no, when she came home from school, it was a normal day. She had fun and she was ready to go back to it. Even now, with her having younger sisters, now there's sometimes she's fed up with it. She's like, okay, I'm done sharing. No, you can't take my stuff.
Well, I mean, that's also kind of an age thing too, though,
That
because
part, yeah.
they don't they don't they're not on that level of like, okay, no, I'm playing with this toy. You go do your thing, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I know that they're her sisters, but like it was the same thing. Like when Sawyer and Lily are together with Theo and Ben, Kelly and Jake's kids is like Kelly and Jake are so good. Like, oh, okay, well, they can't play with that toy. They can't play with that toy, and I'm like, oh, Sawyer, you cannot talk to your cousin like that. He
That
is
part.
only 3 years old. Like I
Mhm.
understand that you're upset because what did he do? It wasn't a big deal, but in the mind of an 8-year-old, it absolutely was. I'm like, you can't get up. You need to realize that this kid, he's not in second grade with you. He's not your little sister. He's 3 and he doesn't know what he's doing and he doesn't mean to be mean. So you need to handle it better. Like,
Yeah.
and if it's something like we tell our kids, like if it's something that special, then put it in mom and dad's room. Like,
Yep. Yep.
cheers.
We're the same way when it comes to Quinn. There's a lot that we have to be able to teach her. There's a lot of things, a lot of conversations I have with her about sharing, and that she's not going to get her way all the time because I have to prepare her for school. I have to prepare her for other children that she will encounter that's going to want, and she has to be okay giving it up or not using it when she wants to, right? Because right now she gets it whenever she wants. She hasn't been in school yet, and then Corona happened, so she wasn't around other children to play. She's just now starting to be around other children and playing with them when she goes to birthday parties or things of that nature with Hazel, right? Because she has no friends of her own really. She has her cousin. These are both of her cousins because they were just around her age. She has another friend. His name is Boston, that is just around her age, and that's pretty much it. She's not playing with any other children. So I'm trying to teach that to her now before she gets into school, so she is having that same kind of mentality her sister had when she went into school.
Yeah, this last year has just been kind of it's gonna be hard for a lot of these kids to adjust to when things go
Oh,
back to quote unquote normal. Like, I
teachers
mean,
gonna have it hard, man. Teachers are going to have it hard. They're gonna have to have two teachers in there
well, I
all time.
mean, I mean, my like my I think I said last week, my daughter doesn't know what school is really like. She went to kindergarten where she was isolated with her classroom. She wasn't intermingling with other kids. She wasn't,
Mhm.
there was no co-curricular activities. There were no assemblies. None of that good stuff was there. It was just in the happy world with your 24 people or whatever. And you didn't get the full experience. And so I'm excited for her to get and like all the other kids really to get the full experience. And it'll be interesting. Going back what you said, how the boys were being rowdy and stuff
Mhm. Mhm.
for COVID. Sawyer is a rough and tumble boy, so I was his tackling dummy. Like he need last year for COVID, he needed, and I need to step my game up. I need to do it. So like we started playing football, and he grew so much over COVID, like
Wow.
height, and he's a thick boy, and so we
Right.
would play football, and I'd be on my knees, and he'd be running, and it got to the point where he was starting to completely plow me
Wow.
and run me over.
With the hit stick.
Oh, absolutely. And the kid's fearless. So like, um, I finally, sorry, I can't do it anymore. He's like, come on, Dad, let's just play. I'm like, one of two things happens. Either I eat the hit and you run me over and knock me over because he's 85 pounds and I'm on my knees. So either you run me over and I'm getting knocked on my ass, or I stop you, which requires me to use force and you're going to get hurt. Like this ain't working no more.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to find other ways to be physical with him. I don't know if I did send you the picture. He got a black eye
Yeah,
last week.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was tough. He's playing third base, and I was 10 feet from him. And
Caught
there's
him.
a grounder to bounce 6 feet in front of him and hit a hop and caught him right now. And to hear the sound, I was like, oh, that's tough. And Jackie was just getting there, and I actually told her, I got him. And kind of brushed her away. And she's like, what? I'm like, because he's around his friends and his team, and he's crying, which is fine. I mean, he's 8, and he got hit in the freaking head with a ball, and he's bleeding or he's swollen. As he's around his friends, he's not gonna I'll be firmer with him. I'll be good, but if he goes into your arms, he's gonna lose it. And
Yeah.
I wanted him like, all right, you're good. Take a knee. You're good. Just your head hurt. You're dizzy.
Mhm,
He
mhm.
gets home. He gets home and he goes running across the neighbors. Look at my black eye. Look at my black eye. Yeah. So he woke up the next morning in the mirror and he's just like, Dad, look, I can barely see. I'm like, all right, get back on the saddle. Next game's Tuesday. I'm actually gonna take him to the park and throw him BP and hit some balls in tomorrow so he gets some confidence back. But he's
Man,
a tough kid.
love
Yeah.
it, man. Love it. We have more great stories like this coming up,
Yeah.
guys. Make sure you tune in. Look, man, this hour went by like that.
Quick.
It was a snap in the breeze before we knew it. But we're gonna get out of here, man. Guys, what I want to make sure that you go and do is follow, follow, follow. We have the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast group on Facebook. Then we also have the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dads podcast on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, share this with some friends. This episode will be going live roughly by tomorrow or Wednesday. Actually, yeah, Wednesday or so. Kind of did the editing down. So make sure that you go ahead and like it, share it, and then be prepared for the podcast to drop on Wednesday. Any closing remarks that you got for us, Chris?
I want to say everyone who is giving us a chance, thank you. I think we're getting there. We'll get our groove. I think we got a good show. I mean, obviously there's some kinks and stuff, but I think we'll always have a good topic, and I think we'll have some good laughs for everybody. We aren't afraid to admit our mistakes or talk about things that we think that we're good at and where we find success with our kids. Really, honestly, I didn't know we're recording. It was like I'm talking with Jason, and again, I don't really know Jason, so this is cool to kind of get to know him and laugh and tell stories and make fun of ourselves. So thank you guys for listening. And yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. Hey guys, lastly, before you get out of here, remind yourself, and excuse me, I remind yourself, but remember to be your absolute best because being empowered starts today. We live life, we love unconditionally, and we seek growth. When you do all three of those, you're in your alpha state. So stay primal and get after it. And always, always remember, go have a granola bar. You heard?
Wait, you forgot that. You forgot Go Blue.
See, OH, you already know it out here. All right, you guys have a good one.
Thank you.